What is US President Donald Trump hiding? That question comes up because serious questions are also doing the rounds around the release of the Epstein files, rather the documents that have been withheld, which is also putting the spotlight firmly on the US president. And also, there have been growing calls for him to testify. The US Justice Department, in fact, has allegedly withheld certain documents linked to unsubstantiated claims that Trump sexually abused a minor, allegedly. A woman who accused Trump, claiming that in 1983, when she was about 13 years old, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein introduced her to him, allegedly. This is what's been.
Futuristic alien university lecture hall filled with strange alien species sitting in floating chairs, glowing holographic gravity charts floating in the air, advanced sci-fi architecture with metallic walls and neon panels, Professor Alien with multiple limbs teaching at the front, students from different planets watching carefully, atmosphere of scientific discovery, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien professor with 6 thin legs and large head explaining planetary gravity using a massive holographic display showing different planets and gravity values, classroom full of diverse extraterrestrial students, floating technology panels and glowing screens everywhere, futuristic university interior with complex machinery and cables hanging from ceiling, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, wide view of alien students in a galactic classroom, some floating, some sitting on perches, one alien hanging from the ceiling observing lecture, advanced holographic technology projecting gravity formulas into the air, futuristic environment with glowing blue lights and metal structures, scientific atmosphere of Interstellar Academy, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, holographic planetary system floating above classroom table showing gravity values of different worlds, alien professor pointing toward a dangerous high-gravity planet highlighted in red, students watching with curiosity and concern, futuristic science environment filled with glowing screens and alien devices, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Alien professor explaining that 1G gravity is deadly for most species. Hologram showing crushed alien skeletons under high gravity conditions. Shocked alien students reacting to the information. Futuristic laboratory classroom with glowing technology everywhere. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, dramatic holographic recreation of failed Kravox expedition on a high-gravity planet, alien astronauts struggling under heavy gravity while wearing advanced exosuits, dangerous rocky planet environment shown through holographic projection in classroom, students watching silently, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, automatic metal classroom doors opening with sparks and grinding sound, mysterious human silhouette standing at the entrance, alien students turning their heads in shock, futuristic corridor lights glowing behind the human figure, dramatic cinematic entrance scene inside Alien University, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human student Marcus Webb entering alien classroom, tall muscular human surrounded by strange alien species staring at him with curiosity, futuristic university hall filled with advanced alien technology and floating screens, dramatic moment of first contact between species in academic setting, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, close cinematic view of human Marcus standing among alien students, his forward-facing predator eyes noticeable, aliens observing him carefully, futuristic station lighting reflecting off metallic structures and holographic displays around the classroom, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human Marcus sitting in floating alien chair that struggles to adjust to his weight, chair slightly bending while alien students watch surprised, futuristic classroom environment full of glowing technology panels and alien architecture, humorous but dramatic scene, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien professor checking data tablet about Earth gravity while staring at human student Marcus with shock, holographic display showing Earth labeled 1.0 G floating in the air, classroom filled with stunned alien students, futuristic technology glowing softly, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien classroom reacting with disbelief after learning humans evolved on 1G gravity world, multiple alien species expressing shock and curiosity, holographic Earth planet glowing in the center of room, humans standing calmly among them, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human Marcus casually walking across alien classroom floor, demonstrating he can move normally in 1G gravity conditions. Alien students observing with amazement, futuristic environment filled with glowing holographic displays and alien technology systems. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Alien scientist analyzing human physiology through holographic scans showing dense bones and powerful heart. Medical holograms floating around Marcus while aliens examine the data with fascination. Futuristic research environment inside space station. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Alien students whispering in shock, realizing human strength is far greater in low-gravity station. Human Marcus standing relaxed while multiple alien species observe him carefully. Futuristic space station interior with glowing machinery and floating displays. Cinematic sci-fi lighting. Glowing holograms. Ultra-detailed. Volumetric light. Depth of field. Human describing dangerous Earth sports to alien students. Holographic projections showing mountain climbing, skydiving, volcano surfing, and cave diving around classroom. Aliens reacting with fear and disbelief at human activities. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Alien gymnasium filled with students watching human strength demonstration. Futuristic workout equipment built for alien species glowing with energy. Marcus preparing for test while aliens gather around curiously. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Human Marcus standing on futuristic gravity scale in alien gym while scientists analyze his weight data through holographic screens. Alien students watching closely, glowing technology surrounding the testing area. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Alien strength testing device measuring grip force while human squeezes metallic bar easily. Holographic numbers rising rapidly above machine. Shocked alien scientists observing data results with amazement. Futuristic gym laboratory environment. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Human effortlessly lifting extremely heavy alien weight equipment in low-gravity station gym while alien spectators stare in disbelief. Futuristic machines and glowing power cores surrounding area. Epic demonstration of human strength among extraterrestrials. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Human Marcus running on advanced alien treadmill and futuristic gym laboratory. Glowing holographic speed data floating around machine. Alien scientists and students watching in disbelief as the human runs effortlessly for a long time. Metallic sci-fi environment filled with alien technology and glowing panels. Dramatic scene showing extreme endurance, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Alien professor examining holographic medical data showing powerful human heart and dense skeletal structure. Floating anatomical diagrams surrounding Marcus while alien researchers analyze results with fascination. Futuristic research lab inside space station filled with glowing equipment and scientific instruments. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Wide view of alien university laboratory where scientists from many species gather around Marcus studying human strength and endurance. Holographic screens showing research data and planetary gravity charts. Advanced alien technology illuminating the room with neon blue and orange light. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Human Marcus accidentally bending a metal alien tool while working in futuristic laboratory. Nearby alien students staring in shock at the unexpected display of strength. Glowing machinery and advanced equipment surrounding the work area inside space station environment. Cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed, volumetric light, depth of field, close dramatic scene of human hand-crushing fragile alien device unintentionally while adjusting equipment. Alien researchers reacting with surprise while holographic warning lights lights flash around laboratory machines, futuristic sci-fi environment with glowing control panels everywhere, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien students watching Marcus walk through low-gravity corridor of massive space station, human moving effortlessly while other species struggle slightly with movement, metallic futuristic architecture with glowing pathways and holographic information panels along the walls, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Professor asking Marcus about human hunting methods while holographic images of ancient Earth landscapes appear in classroom, projection showing humans running across savanna, chasing animals over long distances, alien students listening with curiosity and shock, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, holographic scene showing prehistoric humans performing persistence hunting across hot desert landscape, exhausted prey collapsing while humans continue running, alien students watching simulation inside futuristic classroom environment with glowing technology, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien students whispering nervously after realizing humans hunted by endurance, classroom filled with holographic projections of Earth's dangerous environment, human Marcus sitting calmly while aliens observe him with new respect and fear, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, futuristic space station corridor outside classroom showing peaceful academic environment with alien students walking and floating between departments, glowing directional holograms and neon lighting illuminating massive metallic architecture, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, sudden emergency alarm activating inside Alien University Station, red warning lights flashing across metallic corridors while holographic alert messages appear in the air, alien students looking confused and worried as sirens echo through futuristic facility, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, interior classroom bathed in intense red emergency lights after hull breach warning, alien students looking frightened while professor checks emergency data on holographic tablet, futuristic technology flashing warning signals across room, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, holographic station map appearing in the air showing structural damage in Sector 7 Maintenance Bay 12, alien professor and students analyzing the dangerous decompression zone displayed in glowing red graphics, dramatic emergency atmosphere inside futuristic university station, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien student realizing their lab partner is trapped near the hull breach area, emotional reaction among classmates as emergency alarms continue flashing throughout the station corridor environment, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human Marcus standing suddenly in classroom after hearing emergency warning, determination visible in his posture while alien students watch him with concern, red emergency lighting reflecting across futuristic metallic interior, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien professor ordering Marcus to remain seated while alarms continue ringing, tense moment between human determination and alien authority inside futuristic classroom environment filled with glowing emergency lights, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human Marcus turning toward classroom door with serious expression after declaring someone is dying, alien students watching silently as he prepares to act, dramatic cinematic tension inside futuristic space station classroom, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, Marcus sprinting through long metallic corridor of alien space station at incredible speed, emergency red lights flashing along the walls while shocked alien students watch him run past them, futuristic sci-fi architecture with glowing pathways and holographic panels, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, security camera perspective showing human running faster than most alien species down emergency corridor of space station, dramatic sense of urgency as flashing lights reflect across metallic walls and advanced technology panels, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, wide view of massive futuristic corridor leading toward damaged maintenance bay, emergency lights and warning holograms marking decompression zone ahead, human Marcus running toward danger while alien staff evacuate area, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, exterior hull section of enormous space station showing structural damage with air escaping into vacuum, debris floating slowly in space while warning lights flash along metallic surface of station, dramatic science fiction environment, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, interior maintenance bay with broken pipes, floating debris, and escaping air currents pulling objects toward damaged hull breach, alien technician trapped under heavy equipment struggling to breathe, chaotic futuristic environment inside damaged station sector, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human Marcus entering dangerous decompression zone while debris floats around him, strong posture as he moves forward against powerful air currents, alien technology and broken machinery surrounding the damaged maintenance area, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien technician trapped under heavy metallic structure near hull breach reaching weakly for help, flickering emergency lights illuminating chaotic sci-fi maintenance bay environment filled with floating objects and damaged machines, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human Marcus lifting heavy metal debris to free trapped alien technician while air rushes violently toward hull breach, powerful moment showing human strength inside damaged futuristic station environment, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien technicians staring at Marcus with disbelief as the human rescues them from collapsing machinery, near decompression zone, debris floating in zero-gravity environment while emergency lights flash around the maintenance bay, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, human carrying rescued alien through dangerous corridor away from hull breach while emergency alarms echo through station interior, glowing red lights reflecting across metallic architecture and futuristic machinery, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, rescue teams arriving in protective suits inside damaged sector of space station, while human Marcus stands nearby after saving trapped alien technicians, scientists, and security personnel, observing scene with amazement, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, alien students watching security footage showing Marcus running through decompression corridor and lifting heavy debris during rescue, realization spreading among scientists about human physical capabilities, futuristic control room environment with holographic screens, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field, final dramatic cinematic scene of human Marcus standing calmly among alien students inside futuristic university station while holographic Earth glows behind him labeled 1G world, aliens looking at him with awe and respect after witnessing human strength and courage, epic science fiction atmosphere, cinematic sci-fi lighting, glowing holograms, ultra-detailed volumetric light, depth of field. Long before his presidency, Trump was also closely associated with the birther conspiracy theory surrounding former President Barack Obama. For years, Trump publicly questioned whether Obama had been born in the United States, despite the fact that official documentation confirmed that he was born in Hawaii. Critics argue that the theory had clear racial undertones and helped fuel misinformation about the first black president in American history. Supporters, however, often dismiss the controversy as part of the rough and tumble nature of political debate. Regardless of how people interpret those events, they remain a major part of the political narrative surrounding Trump. And because of that history, moments like this new controversy quickly become connected to a much larger conversation about race, politics, and leadership in the United States. Throughout his political career, Donald Trump has repeatedly been involved in controversies related to race and immigration. Critics often point to several statements he made over the years as examples of rhetoric they believe was deeply offensive and divisive. When Trump first entered the 2016 presidential race, one of the earliest controversies came from comments he made about Mexican immigrants. Those remarks immediately sparked national debate and criticism from many political leaders and civil rights groups. During the same campaign, Trump also proposed a temporary ban on Muslims entering the United States, arguing that it was necessary for national security. Supporters defended the proposal as a strong measure aimed at protecting the country, while opponents argued that it unfairly targeted an entire religious group. Another moment that drew heavy criticism came during a meeting with lawmakers when Trump reportedly used harsh language to describe certain developing nations. The comment caused widespread backlash and intensified debates about the tone of American political leadership. One of the most widely discussed controversies occurred after the violence in Charlottesville in 2017. During that incident, clashes between white nationalist groups and counter-protesters resulted in tragedy and widespread national outrage. Trump's comments in response to the event became a major topic of political debate, with critics arguing that his response failed to clearly condemn extremist groups strongly enough. Because of moments like these, Trump's critics argue that there is a consistent pattern in his political communication. They say that the language he uses and the messages he promotes often push the boundaries of what has traditionally been considered acceptable in American political discourse. Now, with the rise of artificial intelligence and deepfake technology, new controversies have emerged about manipulated or AI-generated political content circulating online. Critics argue that when political figures or their supporters share or amplify such material, it can intensify political polarization and create new challenges for public trust. Many analysts warn that content perceived as racist or dehumanizing can have serious consequences for social cohesion. When inflammatory messages spread widely across social media, they can deepen existing divisions between communities and contribute to hostility or mistrust. In a diverse country like the United States, racial harmony and mutual respect are essential for maintaining stability and democratic values. Political rhetoric plays a powerful role in shaping how different groups view one another. For that reason, critics argue that leaders and public figures carry a significant responsibility in how they communicate with the public. The language used in politics does not exist in isolation. It influences public attitudes, political debates, and ultimately the broader social climate. And as political campaigns continue and new technologies transform the media landscape, debates about rhetoric, misinformation, and responsibility in political communication are likely to become even more important in the years ahead. Racist propaganda of this kind can have serious consequences for society, particularly for communities that have historically faced discrimination. When harmful stereotypes and dehumanizing images are spread in political discourse, they do more than simply offend people. They can contribute to an environment where hostility and division grow stronger. Many experts and civil rights advocates warn that rhetoric portraying Black Americans as less than human or using degrading imagery can deepen existing tensions and reinforce harmful attitudes. When such narratives circulate widely, they can make members of targeted communities feel unsafe, unwelcome, and marginalized in a country that is supposed to belong equally to all its citizens. Critics argue that the impact becomes even more significant when controversial or offensive content is associated with powerful political figures. The words and actions of national leaders carry enormous influence. When rhetoric that appears to normalize racism is connected to leadership, it can send signals, intentionally or unintentionally, that discriminatory attitudes are acceptable in public life. This perception can shape how people behave and how they treat others. Political discourse has the power to influence cultural norms, and when boundaries around respectful communication weaken, the broader social climate can change as well. Civil rights groups have long warned that dehumanizing language and imagery historically played a role in justifying discrimination and violence. Throughout history, racist propaganda often relied on portraying certain groups as inferior or less than human. Those narratives helped create environments where injustice and mistreatment were tolerated or even encouraged. Because of that history, many analysts argue that society must be extremely careful when similar imagery or narratives appear again in modern political discussions. Even when presented as jokes, satire, or political attacks, such messages can still reinforce harmful stereotypes and deepen mistrust between communities. Another concern frequently raised by experts is the potential connection between inflammatory rhetoric and extremist movements. When racist narratives circulate widely, they can sometimes be adopted or amplified by individuals or groups who already hold extremist beliefs. These dynamics can contribute to broader problems such as racial hostility, social fragmentation, and the spread of conspiracy theories that target minority communities. While not every controversial statement leads directly to violence, researchers note that a steady flow of dehumanizing rhetoric can gradually shape attitudes and normalize prejudice. For this reason, many scholars, journalists, and civic leaders emphasize the importance of responsible communication in politics. Healthy democratic societies rely on debate and disagreement, but they also depend on a shared commitment to dignity, respect, and equal humanity. When political discussions move away from those principles, the consequences can extend far beyond elections or political rivalries. They can influence the safety, trust, and sense of belonging experienced by millions of people across the country. This kind of content can also push people who already have racist beliefs to become even more extreme. When messages like this spread online, they can strengthen hatred and division instead of reducing it. Critics say that sharing this type of material only adds fuel to racism and makes the problem worse. Another major concern is that when something like this happens and there are no serious consequences, it sends a troubling message. Many people believe it shows how political standards and expectations have weakened over time. Actions that once would have caused a massive political crisis now sometimes pass with very little accountability. In a healthy democracy, leaders are expected to follow certain standards of respect and responsibility. When a president or any powerful leader shares offensive or dehumanizing content, people usually expect strong reactions from political leaders, institutions, and the public. There would normally be widespread criticism, pressure for accountability, and serious discussion about whether that leader is fit to continue in office. But critics argue that the current political environment is very different. Instead of long-term consequences, controversies often move quickly through the news cycle. A scandal may dominate headlines for a short time, then attention shifts to the next issue. As a result, the larger questions about leadership, responsibility, and political standards sometimes remain unresolved. This pattern worries many observers of American politics. They say that when serious controversies fade quickly without meaningful accountability, it can weaken trust in democratic institutions. Citizens may begin to feel that political leaders are not held to the same standards as ordinary people. Another issue is the role of social media. In the modern media environment, controversial posts can spread to millions of people within minutes. Even if something is later deleted or corrected, the original message may already have reached a huge audience. By the time it disappears, the impact has often already been made. Because of this, many experts believe political leaders must be especially careful about what they share online. Messages from powerful figures carry enormous influence, and even a single post can shape public conversation across the country. For many analysts, the bigger concern is not just one incident, but what it says about the current state of political culture. They argue that democratic systems depend on accountability, respect, and shared standards of conduct. When those standards begin to weaken, it can slowly affect public trust and the overall health of democracy itself. Donald Trump faces almost no real consequences. He doesn't seem to lose support from his core voters. In fact, many of his supporters defend him and try to justify what he did. They say the criticism is exaggerated or unfair. Because of this, it looks like his political support remains strong among his base. For many critics, this raises serious concerns about how democracy is working in the United States. They believe that in the past, certain actions by a president would have led to stronger backlash and accountability, but today, those political standards seem weaker than before. Some analysts argue that this shows how much political norms have changed over the years. There used to be clear expectations about how leaders should behave and what kind of language or imagery was acceptable in public life. Those unwritten rules helped protect democratic institutions and maintain a certain level of respect in political debate. According to critics, the situation around Donald Trump suggests that many of those norms have been damaged or ignored. They believe that political culture has become more extreme and more polarized. Repairing that damage, they say, could take many years or even decades. Another major concern is the growing problem of deepfakes and manipulated media. These technologies allow people to create videos or images that look real but are actually fake. As the technology improves, it becomes harder and harder for ordinary people to tell the difference between real content and something that has been digitally altered. This creates a serious challenge for the modern information system. When false or misleading videos spread online, they can reach millions of people before anyone has a chance to verify them. Even when the truth eventually comes out, the original message may have already influenced public opinion. Experts warn that this problem becomes even more complicated when political leaders themselves share questionable or manipulated content. When powerful figures spread such material, it can confuse the public even more and weaken trust in information overall. In the long run, many observers worry that the spread of deepfakes and manipulated media could make it harder for citizens to agree on basic facts. And when people can't agree on what is real, it becomes much more difficult for a democracy to function effectively. When false and racist content spreads online, it makes people lose trust in information and in the media. People start doubting everything they see or hear. Because of that, many people become more likely to believe conspiracy theories and false stories. This slowly damages the shared understanding of facts that democracy depends on. When the president of a country spreads misleading or racist content, the situation becomes even worse. It makes people more confused about what is real and what is fake. People begin to question every video, every photo, and every piece of news they see. They may feel that nothing online can be trusted anymore. This kind of confusion is very dangerous for democracy. A democracy works properly only when people share a basic understanding of reality and facts. If citizens cannot agree on what is true, it becomes much harder to make informed decisions, vote responsibly, and have meaningful political discussions. Another important point is how this situation could affect upcoming elections. Many political analysts believe that Democrats will use this controversy as a powerful message during the midterm elections. They are likely to show this incident in campaign ads and speeches to criticize Donald Trump and the Republican Party. Democrats may present the video as proof of how Trump behaves and what kind of politics he represents. Their campaign strategy will likely focus on reminding voters about the controversy and arguing that it shows a lack of respect and responsibility from a national leader. This message could be especially aimed at moderate voters and swing voters who care about respectful leadership and fair treatment of all communities. These voters often decide close elections, so influencing their opinion can be very important. At the same time, Democrats may also try to motivate black voters and people who strongly support racial equality. By highlighting Trump's past statements and actions, they may encourage these voters to participate in the election and vote against Trump and the Republican Party. In short, this issue is not only about one controversial video. It has larger political consequences. It affects public trust in information, raises concerns about the use of deepfake technology, and could play a major role in shaping political debates and voter behavior in the upcoming elections. Because of this controversy, many people believe it could have serious political consequences for Republicans in the upcoming elections. Situations like this often influence how voters think about political leaders and parties. Looking ahead, some analysts believe that Donald Trump and his political movement may continue using strong and controversial language in their messaging. Critics argue that when a political leader does not face serious consequences for controversial statements, it can encourage more of the same behavior in the future. Supporters of Trump, however, often defend him and say his words are misunderstood or exaggerated by the media. Because of this strong support base, debates about his rhetoric and actions continue to divide public opinion. Another growing concern is the role of deepfake technology and manipulated media. As this technology becomes more advanced, it becomes harder for people to tell whether a video is real or fake. This can create confusion and make it easier for misinformation to spread online. When misinformation spreads widely, it can damage trust in news, media, and public institutions. People may begin to doubt everything they see online, which makes healthy political discussion more difficult. Many observers also worry that political messaging built around race and identity can increase divisions in society. When political debates become more personal or emotional, it can deepen disagreements between different communities and groups of voters. By the time the midterm elections arrive, issues like misinformation, political rhetoric, and social division may play a major role in how voters make their decisions. Political campaigns from both parties are likely to highlight these topics as they try to persuade voters. In the end, this situation reflects bigger challenges facing modern politics. The spread of misinformation, the influence of social media, and the growing polarization among voters. How leaders and citizens respond to these challenges will shape the future of political debate and democratic institutions in the years ahead. Trump has shown again and again exactly who he is and what he believes. Through his words and actions, he has made it clear that he sees Black Americans as less than human and as targets for demeaning attacks. He has repeatedly used racist propaganda to attack his political opponents and to spread harmful messages about race. Trump has shown that he has no respect for Black Americans and no concern for how his words and actions hurt them. Even more troubling, he can do this and face almost no consequences. That is a serious warning about the state of American democracy today. Over the years, Trump has normalized racism in ways that past presidents could never have done. He has used politics to spread racist messages and even racist deepfakes, making harmful stereotypes more visible and more accepted in public discourse. This has damaged race relations in America and created divisions that may take years to heal. If nothing changes, if voters don't hold Trump accountable in the upcoming elections, if the country doesn't firmly reject this kind of racism, then this pattern is likely to continue and even get worse. The bottom line is clear. Trump's actions show who he really is, and they reveal the urgent need for Americans to confront and reject racism in politics before it causes even more harm.